I think the biggest architectural analogy I would say is that cross-chain primitives like general message passing allow you to talk between smart contracts as if they are on a single chain. So what that practically means is that, let's say you have one contract, typically an application, let's say you have one core contract that does like most of the logic, like determining like the price of the swaps, right? Like your rates, what eligible tokens are. And typically you would have like a separate contract for like deposit withdrawals, right? That maybe does like some security checks, some filters and checks for which assets are compatible and things like that. And so what you would do is that you would take this, let's say, deposit contract, right? And then you essentially could deploy it on multiple chains and underneath it have the messages being sent to your main core contract that then is responsible for dealing with the actual deposits, right? The contracts that are responsible for deposits and withdrawals, you can call them like edge contracts. So you push them on all 16 chains of your choice, right? You have maybe one core contract that you put on whatever the ecosystem of your choice, where you're going to have most of the execution logic on. Maybe it's for gas fees, maybe it's for latency, or whatever things you're optimizing for. And then all the other contracts are just going to be edges that interact with the users, where the user can send the transaction or send a deposit. This contract would talk to the main ground truth contract on a different chain as if it was living on the same chain, like as if your architecture was all on one chain. But now these messages can come in from any of the 16 chains and then execute your logic and kind of revert back.